Hello. Let me quickly check. Yes, we're live. Hello and welcome to episode 25 of Spilling the Green Beans, my weekly live gardening show where I share with you my green secrets to inspire you to start growing your own vegetables. I am your host, Emily, creator of Easy Urban Gardening, the system for growing your own vegetables on a balcony or terrace in town. Thank you for spending time with me today. Growing vegetables can seem daunting and, above all, hard work. So, I share with you my green secrets, the most crucial techniques to make it fun and easy. Yes, you'll also learn how to take advantage of the broad health benefits of gardening and how to cook delicious meals with your own vegetables. I am spilling the green beans. I know I promised to talk about thinning techniques this week, but at the beginning of the week, our area got hit by an extremely severe hailstorm with huge consequences for our gardens. So instead, today I want to talk about resilience and gardening. My vegetable gardens were almost completely destroyed by a hailstorm that lasted maybe 5 minutes or so. It seemed to go forever at the moment, I have to admit, and honestly, we were seriously worried that our windows would actually crack. But in the end, it didn't last forever, of course. Nevertheless, those 5 minutes did quite some damage. First of all, our terrace flooded. We had kind of like a 10 centimeter deep private pool. Not exactly the pool that I'm dreaming of having once, but hey ho, it was that much rain combined with the hail that came from the heavens. It was like they opened the doors and it just rushed down. And of course, our pipes couldn't handle with that much water at once. So the complete terrace flooded with, honestly, like that high. I was ankle high in the water. But worse than the water was the hail, as I mentioned. My big bushes, like those few non-edibles on my terrace, withstood the whole adventure quite well. They just have a few torn leaves or leaves with kind of like a hole punched in them, but not too many broken branches. So that was good. Unfortunately, the news about my vegetable gardens is less positive. When I went for an inspection round the next day, I could honestly cry my eyes out. It looked completely wrecked, as if somebody had picked and chopped my vegetables without my consent. Some plants were completely snapped, others had not a single leaf left, but the stem was still up there. Others were kind of like half snapped. They were completely flattened, maybe had one or two leaves left. So it looked devastating, absolutely devastating. But let's not dwell on it. As violent Mother Nature can be, we have to give her credit too. Because now, a few days later, my gardens still look pathetic, I have to admit that, but not as wrecked anymore as the day before yesterday, so like 2 days ago. Some of the beetroots, for example, that looked all flat out snapped, are trying to get back on their feet again. My half-wrecked zucchini actually produced a flower over the last 2 days. So I think there is something to learn for us too. And I think that is that we should look beyond the wreckage and embrace the lesson in resilience nature can actually teach us. So let's take an example to learn how to look beyond bad news and to pick ourselves up, straighten our backs, and keep moving on. That is what this whole happening, adventure, disaster, whatever you want to call it, actually is for me. And I think we should express gratitude for the plants that keep going and admiration for those tiny little thingies that are still standing. So there is nothing wrong with feeling gutted or even shed a tear or two over your lost veggies. I did that too, but let's not dwell on it. Let's move with Mother Nature, and she guides us to a new day waiting for us, waiting for our participation, waiting for our care, and waiting for our active input. So, what's next, you might ask? Well, luckily, Easy Urban Gardening is a system developed for a constant flow of sowing, growing, harvesting, and all over again. Every season, with or without this kind of setbacks, is formed by us consistently sowing, growing, harvesting, and doing it all over again. So therefore, I look at this as a premature new round. I mean, honestly, of course, I would have loved it to last a bit longer and actually also being able to harvest more out of the previous round. But it is what it is. So for now, I give my gardens a bit of time on their own to recuperate as much as possible. Besides the fact that the weather forecast looks like the weather is only gonna settle really towards the weekend. And after that hailstorm, I don't feel like going outdoors in the rain for the moment. So, but above all, I give them some time. I give the gardens some time to recuperate. And then the weekend is all about sowing again. I'll remove the plants that obviously won't survive, take them out completely. No hard feelings anymore. Just get rid of them. The ones that look resilient enough to keep going, I of course give a chance. And if that vegetable can still be sown this time of year, I might even fill up the holes in my grid pattern with new seeds. And in that way, I kind of create 2 successive rounds within 1 square. So that's kind of like a little pro tip, insider pro tip. And then the empty squares, I'm going to treat them with a trowel of fresh compost. And then I go back to my sowing calendar and pick a new vegetable or pick new vegetables. I'm afraid I'm going to end up with multiple empty squares. But luckily, there is still plenty of choice this time of year as summer only just started. So in the end, based on the typical garden flow of sowing, growing, harvesting, and doing it all over again, Easy Urban Gardening is designed in a way that you can start your garden or start your garden all over again in almost any month during the year. I look at it in this way. I still have 4 months left to sow and 6 months left to grow and harvest veggies. So in the end, definitely not all is lost. And if you could do with some help and motivation to start all over again this season, you can contact me, of course, per email or direct message on social media. But if you thought you were too late to start a garden, I have a surprise for you, because that's not true. As I just told you, you can start almost every month of the year. And I have something really exciting going on, because on the 8th of July, so July 8th, my Staycation Summer Camp starts. It's a specifically designed course online for parents with their children or grandparents with their grandchildren, for that matter. It's 4 weeks. It's like an online summer camp during which you build, sow, and grow your garden on your balcony or terrace in town together. So not only together with me, but above all together as a family. And of course, it also works in the garden. but you might have guessed that already. It's packed with lots of videos. You get all sorts of handy handouts. We're going to do challenges. We're going to be a lot of facts and fun, and maybe also fun facts. Yeah. So it's actually an ideal family activity during the long summer holidays, especially now our options to travel still might be limited. And you could even gather with a few families in your neighborhood. Or if you don't have children, you can borrow them from your best friend or from your cousin or your colleague or whatever. You can just borrow the neighborhood kids, whatever. If you're into gardening and you love doing that together, this is a really nice opportunity. And even better, you can still participate in our totally crazy raffle. I was already told that I might have been sunstroked when I came up with the idea, but you can win a free ticket worth $297 and participate for free in the summer camp with no matter how many kids. You can pick and choose. I don't care. So check the link below and get your name in the top hat. And maybe I'll keep my fingers crossed. Maybe you actually win that free ticket. And if you know about brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews, nieces, friends, colleagues, whoever who have kids who like to be in outdoors, are going to be around for 4 weeks during the summer holidays, not traveling, and might not even thought about gardening because they don't have a garden or a traditional yard or allotment, let them know, let them participate too, and maybe you can do it together with them, even if they are on the other side of the country or the other side of the continent, because it's online. We're going to meet online, partly on Zoom, partly on videos, partly and in the Facebook groups to share everything with each other. It's going to be a blast. So if you know anybody else that might be interested in something like a Staycation Summer Camp in which you go garden together as a family, let them know. That would be absolutely great, and I would be grateful. So thank you for spending time with me in the garden. Did you enjoy this episode? Then, of course, please leave a review, share it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, so as many people as possible can join us in this show and in gardening, making the world a little bit greener. That would be amazing. I see you in next week's episode, which then, of course, is about thinning. You still get the information from me because it is important. But due to what happened to me this week, I wanted to talk about this topic, and I didn't anticipate that last week. So next week is going to be about thinning. I'm going to tell you how to do it best, when to do it best, and of course also why to do it, because it's not easy. It's one of the more emotionally difficult tasks in a garden. Technically, it's not difficult. It's very easy. But emotionally, it is kind of like hard. But that's for next week. For now, I wish you a wonderful day. I hope the weather is a little bit more summery where you are than where I am, although it is getting better. I even did see the sun today. So see you next week. Bye.